I guess I just need to get on to X and get my X account going because a lot of this would just be good typed out. But targeted individuals, or TIs, uh, or people who've been blacklisted, anything along those lines, receiving any kind of community backlash on any level, all of those people would fall into the same category of what is going on with even Kanye West. So just to put this in perspective, that is that is what's going on. So what Kanye talks about is just the level he gets messed with when you're as big as Kanye. And so you can still be as big as Kanye and get messed with. Well, that goes all the way down to homeless people. So anybody, you could be homeless, you could be anywhere in between that and Kanye West and still get messed with, just like Kanye West. Only it gets worse, if you're homeless at the bottom of the scale. Well, then you have people like Andrew Tate. Well, why am I talking about these two individuals? Well, Andrew Tate, I agree with, just to go out, I agree with a lot of things that Kanye West says. Like almost everything Kanye West says, I would back it up or fully agree with it. Same thing goes for Andrew Tate for the most part. He's a little more on the traditional side, so to speak, than I might rest on. But I would still need to listen to him and more of his views to figure out exactly what extent you know I am on as far as my own views and versus his views. But Andrew Tate's definitely very strong in that manner, and I bring him up because I've heard him talk about just fu money and what are you gonna do if you decide to actually have an opinion, right? So that's why I bring him up at the same time as Kanye West, because Kanye West, it's like, why is he a targeted individual? I mean, he's not exactly Martin Luther King. Well, I get that same question, right? As a target, and it's like, come on, how can you even? That's not even a valid question to ask somebody who's trying to tell you that they're being targeted. That's almost rude to ask a silly question like that. It's like I shouldn't even have to discuss why that's rude or just a low blow or just a straight up not intelligent question. It's not even a low blow, it's just lacking of understanding the situation at hand. Because it's very real. The situation is so real that we have Kanye West and we have Andrew Tate, and they both talk exactly the way they do. And I'm here to tell you they both make a bunch of sense. But the whole reason I'm making this whole video is that you need to talk to somebody like me, and you need to listen to Kanye West. You need to listen to Andrew Tate. Whether you agree with how traditional Andrew Tate is, whether you agree with anything that comes out of my mouth or my background, and the same thing for Kanye. But I'm here to tell you from my position that those two guys are right. But one of the major points that I want to bring up in this is that even Andrew Tate, even though he may have his own private mini country that he's formed, and he can just kind of bounce around between a few different countries that he's either had dual citizenship or somehow along the lines acquired dual citizenship from occupying it, or traveling to so many times or whatever. I don't know how he's figured that out, but between his ability to move freely from country to country, he's got kind of his own little mini militia, private militia, so to speak. Basically his own tiny little country, and when he goes talk about having FU money, it's you basically have to. The only way you can have FU money, according to Andrew Tate, and I kind of agree with him, is to have enough money to have that set up. But then even when you have your own little country, you are just opening up the doors. Unless that's what's crazy is like you kind of need to have a big family. Uh, almost. Yeah, you'd have to have a big family in my opinion, in order for what Andrew Tate's idea is to actually work 100%. I'm sure his idea works and it does well for him currently, but I myself am, I'm not gonna call it paranoid, but I do think my brain just keeps going, and I just feel like somebody within my little private militia could go corrupt. You'd have to know everybody well enough and be paying attention to each player in this game that you've set up for your privatized militia, your little mini country. At that point, it's your fault for not knowing as soon as this person becomes corrupt, or the fact that you hired someone that was already corrupt. That's kind of on you at that point. But there's a part of me that's like you'd have to be family 100% in order to avoid that whole. You're never gonna avoid that unless you're family. There's a part of me that rests on that side. Well, so where are you supposed to be able to relax, right? Because if let's say you get to Andrew Tate's level, I still have experienced things that would, like I've even seen him go on a podcast and he's like, oh, whatever, there's, poison in my drink. It's like, yeah, dude, that's actually, like, you talking about that, like, unless you have tolerances built up like Princess Bride, in which case you would have to know what poison they're giving you. That's kind of the only way you could prepare for that type of an attack. And I feel like that is absolutely an attack that gets used on targeted individuals. I'm just saying, because why else would they have random people pop up on you everywhere you go to get food or drink or anything in between? Why would it be so important? They're trying to show you that they either control or have backdoor access to or have remote control, whatever, that their stupid system reaches that far and is aware of you at the same time. So, like, not only do we know your ass is here, but we can also sit here and poke you at the same time, and not only at the same time, but very specific moments. Not even just, hey, we're gonna poke you as soon as you arrive, just to let you know that we know when you arrived. No, they're gonna take it. They always take it even further. So, you almost. I'm sitting there thinking, if I was Andrew Tate, talking like Andrew Tate, and I'm over here on a podcast drinking coffee served up, I want to see that. I want to see those cups get poured, and then it's got to go. I want to see the other person drink first, almost. If you're in someone's house, it almost goes and turns into the Inglourious Bastards moment. But the only way you're going to be comfortable drinking a cup at somebody's place is in the situation where you are. What's the name of that character? I can't think of the name of the character, but the guy who, I wish I knew the actor's name just so I could spit his name out at the very least. But he's an incredible actor. The one who is of the Nazi. What is it? The Nazi Secret Service, or Nazi SS. He's the one that knocks on the door and is looking for specific Jews. The Jew hunter is the only name for this person I can think of at the time from the movie. But the only time you're going to be able to drink randomly without care is if you just waltz into someone's house unscheduled, which nobody